so firstly I'm just going to be applying some of Caitlin's primer. I will list this below, I'm not 100% sure what it's called, so I'll pop it on the screen and list it below as well. I'm just sort of applying this all over her face just with my fingers. You can use a brush as well if you like. I just find that it packs in a little bit more if I use my fingers. Alrighty, so around to applying foundation, we have, okay, this is Caitlin's foundation. We have L'Oreal True Match. It's in the colour Golden Ivory. I have speeded up these scenes just a little bit, just because I didn't want it to be 20 minutes long is where I was sitting before I sped them all up. I'm just going to be using a beauty blender to even this out. For myself, I would usually use a brush and then beauty blend over to sort of get the streaks out. But Caitlin has sort of a flawless complexion anyway, so it's a lot easier for her, and we've just blended that out. Alrighty, I was just going to also apologise if the sort of picture seems quite bright. It was very overexposed, just we had the lighting quite close to her face, and it just comes through sort of on the camera after I've uploaded them as quite white. I have tried to sort of edit it into like a bit of a darker overcast, but it just hasn't worked too well, but hopefully I've sort of fixed it throughout the rest of the video. I will also mention, for some reason the video of us sort of applying the powder and concealer and all that sort of stuff didn't pop up. On Caitlin I used the Smashbox Studio Skin Concealer in the colour Fair, and we used the Coty Airspun powder in the colour Translucent. Just the concealer under her eyes and on her nose, and then the powder to bake, and then all over her face as well. Alrighty, now onto the eyebrows. We're using I think it's a QWS brush. I'm not 100% sure what this brush is called. I'm actually trying to find a duplicate of it myself, but I cannot just find the brand anywhere. It's just a very slanted thin brush for her eyebrows. The powder that I'm using on her eyebrows is very similar to mine. It's actually a Kmart branded powder. It is in the deep brown colour, and it's just the OXX Cosmetics brand. Now doing her eyebrows is sort of just start at the tail, and then I feather out the front of her eyebrows. Unfortunately, I couldn't really see the camera when I filmed this one, so it does look like it's sort of quite a bit to one side, and it will get a little bit worse before it gets better, unfortunately. But if you have a look there, it's sort of just feathering it out, blending it out, so it's not such a harsh line as it gets closer to sort of the centre of her nose. And then we're just doing the same for the other eye. Like everyone, the eyebrows won't sort of match perfectly, but we made them as best we could. As mentioned before, the lighting in this video didn't turn out as great as I had expected, so her eyebrows will in the video look one a bit darker than the other, but it's just the lighting that I've sort of used. It was more towards one side than the other, so it's just cast a bit of a shadow. Alrighty, so in this shot here I'm just applying some Coty Airspun to her lids, just because we had the liquid foundation and just a bit of powder over those before, but it's just to give a bit of a base for the eyeshadow that we're about to apply, and it just makes it a bit smoother and a bit easier to blend. Alrighty, so the first shadow that I'm using for Caitlin's eyeshadow is the colour Beach. This one's in the Kyshadow. It is in the Burgandy palette. For this I'm just using a fluffy brush that I got off eBay for like $2 to apply. It is quite easy to blend out, especially with that pretty Airspun underneath, and these colours are quite easy to blend in themselves. The colour after that I'm going to be using is the shade Penny from the same palette. This one is more of a sort of pinky tone brown. So I have sped these ones up a bit as well, just because it is quite tedious to sort of blend them all out. Alrighty, so here we're just going to be applying that same beach colour from the Burgandy Kyshadow palette to the other eye, blending it out the same, sort of in the same shape as we have for the original eye. The shapes that I sort of blend these out in, I sort of start with the outline of the shape that I'd like it to be, and then blend that out and put a bit more towards the sort of bottom of the lid. I find that it works best for me to sort of get quite a nice shape and quite blended out. Alrighty, so just here is where I'm applying that darker shade Penny from the Kyshadow palette, and I'm applying that sort of towards the outer corner of Caitlin's eye. I'm going down sort of in a little V shape towards the edge, so up through her crease and then down towards the line of her lid, just to give it a bit of a better shape and just look a bit better. So in the same motions as before, I also add the colour Brick and Almond together throughout the outer V of her eye. Just darkens it up a little bit and adds more of a gradient and makes it look a little bit better. Alrighty, so I'm just about to apply a shimmer shade from the inner corner just towards the outer darker blended colours. This shimmer is the very first shimmer in the Morphe palettes. It is the 35OS, that is part of the Shimmer and Matte palettes. I do quite love this colour. I have sprayed some setting spray on my brush before actually applying it. It makes it look more intense and just stick a lot better. And then I'm just doing the same to the other eye and then sort of just going back over both to intensify it a little bit. With this same shimmery shadow as before, I grab a different brush. This is an e.l.f. brush. It's one of their little blending brushes. It's got quite a small sort of tip to it. I've just grabbed some setting spray, sprayed it onto this brush, and then grabbed some of that shimmery powder. And I'm just applying this in the inner quarter and sort of up towards the crease of the eye. This just helps to open up her eyes quite a bit. I did also off camera apply some mascara to Caitlin as well as some shadow just underneath her lash line to give her a bit more of a pop for her eyes. Alrighty, so last but not least, I'm just going to be applying some liquid lipstick to Caitlin. This one is the Jeffree Star Andogyny liquid lipstick. I do quite love this colour for this look. It's quite a nice sort of purpley maroni colour. The only advice I can really think of giving for applying liquid lipstick sort of quite straight and seamlessly is to just go by their lip line. I've applied a bit of shimmer above Caitlin's Cupid's bow, which sort of gives me a more accurate lining of where the lipstick needs to go. The main drama I find I have, as well as a few other people, is just where I'm putting the lipstick now, just towards that outer corner, because they can tend to be where it does become quite uneven. I just sort of do one side that I think looks quite well and then mop it on the other side. As you can see in this, I do make a few mistakes, but it's quite easy to fix those as well. Alrighty, so that is now Caitlin's completed look. I will have all the products that I used in this video listed below. I do hope you like it and please subscribe. Thank you.